Good morning, everyone. We are continuing here in the KITZUR HILCHOS SHABBOS, moving along in the 39 Melachas. Today is Melacha number 2, Meleches CHORESH, which is the Melacha of plowing. Nichla b'Meleches CHORESH kol tikkun shebasada. Included in the Melacha of CHORESH of plowing is anything that you do to be mesaken, to fix up a field. Whether you're fixing it up because you need to sow the seeds and plant over there, or it allows the grass to grow better, or the trees, or any other thing that you're doing to fix up the field, even if it's just to make it to make the field look nicer. It's going to be more pleasant. So if you do things, that's all included in the laws of plowing. Gamal chafiras guma, so too. To dig a guma, like a ditch or a hole, b'chutz, outside. Oyal hashvas kavshushis, b'chutz, you want to level out the land outside. Oyevrim amaleches choresh, even that is part of choresh, of plowing. Aval b'bayis, but if you are making holes, ditches, or leveling out the ground on the inside, even ba'asiyas guma al meleches baina, over there, it's not choresh, it's not plowing, it's called bain, it's called building. Gam nichla b'zeh amezabel sadeu, so too if the person fertilizes their fields, or there's a lot of stones in the fields and they remove the stones, so too in that case, you'll be chayav for choresh because that you're improving the field. Yesh men shehein told us there are those that are considered the malacha, the main body of the malacha, and there are those that are the offspring, the offshoots of that malacha, as we've spoken about so far. Now, says the KITZUR over here, the next idea is something called Horowitz. You're making a ditch, you're making a groove in the ground. You cannot drag anything on the ground outside that you know is for sure going to make a groove in the ground. However, if it's not clear that it's going to make a groove, like we mentioned above, and that's where you're not machav, you have no intention that it should make a groove. In kanisa, then there's no prohibition. Meaning, if it's unclear that a groove is going to be made in the ground as you're dragging this thing along, you're okay. Nevertheless, you would be allowed to go on soft earth, or walk on sand. Even if you make a guma, you make some kind of a pit while you're walking along. You're walking on sand. So now what happens when you walk on the sand? You make an indentation. But the only reason that you're making an indentation over there is because that's the way that you walk. You're not intending to make some kind of a hole or a groove or a pit over here. You're not trying to do that. Therefore, in that case, there's no isur choresh, there's no prohibition of plowing that you're doing. You can also go on earth, on dirt, with the little agala shel katanim, with a little carriage of children. As long as you're not taking something out from the private domain to the public domain, it has to be a place where there's an eruv or it's yom tov. Now, even if you make these pits, or you make these little ditches as you're going along, you can't avoid it. You're making these little grooves in the ground with the wheels of the baby carriage. The only reason you're making the ditches is because when the ground is getting pushed down from the wheels. So that's not called making a ditch. But be careful with the baby carriage not to go to a place where grass is growing, lest you be concerned that you're going to end up ripping out the grass while you're going along. that's going to be what I guess we'll call it a psik ratio. You cannot avoid that at all, and that would be uprooting, as we're going to see the next halacha KITZUR, where you're not allowed to uproot things from the ground. So that's the halacha of CHORESH. We have a little bit more to see in Mitzvah Hashem. We're going to see that tomorrow. All the best.